Hey everybody, I'm Pastor Rob Lloyd with the South Edmiston Community Church. Just want to thank you for stopping by for this quick midweek video. Today we're going to be in Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 talking about reaping and sowing. So if that's something you're interested in, I would ask you to stick around. So again, we're going to be in Galatians chapter 6 verse 7, and it goes like this. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that will he also reap. So what are we looking to get out of life? Whether it be in the short term, whether it be long term. Are we talking at the end of our life or just the end of a time? There's many ways to look at this. But the bottom line is we can only reap what we sow. So if we sow negativity, that's what we're going to get. If with our children, we completely neglect them, they're going to grow up to be neglected children. If we neglect our time with God, if we just completely neglect our relationship with God, what are we going to reap? Here's a case in point, just something to think about in our church attendance. If we want to truly get to know God better, if we truly want to know more about Him, if we want to worship Him, do we end up in church once a month? Once every other month? Maybe we look at the Bible sitting on the shelf collecting dust and think, you know what? Someday I ought to really think about reading that. Or do we open that Bible up? Do we get into the scripture? Do we actually read into what He has there? Are we sowing good seed? Are we in church every week, or at least as much as we possibly can? Because some people work, some people are unable to make it because they don't have the proper transportation or they're sick or whatever, and that's understandable. However, we need to be there as often as we possibly can. We can't say, well, I'm going to have an at-home self-taught ministry. It doesn't work, folks. We need to be with other believers. We need to be in a church community. We need to sow the proper seeds. If we're going to build that relationship right with God, we need to take that time along the way to put the proper seed down. If we sow weeds, we're going to end up with weeds. If we sow sparingly, not caring, that type of thing, that's what we're going to end up with in the end. We will not reap what we did not sow. Just, again, a quick little thought for today. Just wanted to throw that by you. If you truly want a harvest in your life, if you want that good relationship with God, if you want that relationship with Jesus, if you want, could be relationship with your kids, your family, whatever it is, you got to put in the time. You got to put in the work. You've got to sow the right seeds. We have to sow the correct seeds to get the correct yield at the end. When it comes time for harvest, God has put His seeds in the right place. He has put His seeds here on earth, the leaders that are doing the work for Him. And at the harvest, remember, all the wheat, all the tares, as it goes in that parable, the wheat and the tares are all going to be gathered at the same time, and they're going to be separated out at that time, and the weeds are going to be thrown in that fiery furnace. But the good wheat is going to be stored in the barn. So what are you sowing? What are you planting? Are you planting good seed? Or are you sowing weeds? I want to thank you all for sticking around to the end of the video. Just wanted to give you something to think about again. And plant those good seeds. Plant the good wheat so you can get a great harvest at the end of whatever time you're looking at. I want to thank you again for sticking around to the end, and may God bless each and every one of you today.